Hello everybody, I'm Cam Reporter. Welcome this week to our Robin Hood Studios video about finding the perfect location for your video. Okay, so this week, as I mentioned, we're talking about how to find a great location to shoot your video. Here are some things that you may not consider if you're not familiar with video production, and the more familiar you get, the more these things will come naturally. So the biggest problem that we see in amateur video production when companies are trying to do their own video production is that they usually pick a location somewhere in their place of business, which makes perfect sense. They have access to their place of business, they have total control over it, and it usually ends up being some kind of wall. They find a wall in their office that happens to have a nice picture on it, or a vase with some fake flowers or something like that, and then they grab their subject and plaster them right up against the wall and shoot there. And that's fine. I mean, it's good that they've put thought into that, but that looks very amateurish, and the reason why is because it's obvious that that's what they did. They found a wall in their office with a potted plant and put somebody there because it looks kind of nice. So the biggest thing that makes videos look amateurish is what we call a lack of depth. So their subject is right up against the background. So in this case, if the camera had been moved up forward, and I'm going to move, hope Duncan's paying close attention and can pull focus, but if I was right up here, if I was right here next to the wall, this is not good, not a good shot, okay? Because with me being so close to the wall, that means we're both in focus, and it appears to be a very flat two-dimensional image. Our eyes see in 3 dimensions, so when you can simulate depth by separating your subject from the background, you can actually make it feel more natural, feel more professional just that way. So that's a big thing you can do. The second major thing that we see most often in amateur video production is they choose a location that is not quiet. It's not silent. So they'll be recording with an on-camera microphone or the microphone just on their phone, and you'll be able to hear the noise of the room, the air conditioner. You'll be able to hear the buzz of the fluorescent lights, which you actually may be able to hear in this. We decided to keep the lights on this time to demonstrate that. Don't know, I mean, this is a really nice mic, so it might not pick it up. Hopefully it does so that we can make it work. But anyway, you'll hear that noise. Now here's the secret about the mics on a phone or the built-in camera microphones. If you control your environment so that it's absolutely silent, and then you position whoever's talking very close to the phone or the camera, you'll actually get some pretty good sound quality out of them. So number 1, pick a location with some depth. So you see we've got some depth behind me. Find somewhere that has depth. Number 2, make sure it's quiet. If you can control the air conditioner in the room, turn it off. Think about, is your office on a busy street? Can you hear cars outside? Think about all the noises that you just ignore from day to day and focus on them so you know what people are gonna be able to hear in the video. That is a critical component of choosing a location. Okay, next, you gotta consider relevance. You don't want your location to be distracting for any reason. You want your location to add, to synergize with the content of your video. So if you run a massage parlor and you're doing videos about your massage parlor, you probably don't want to do your videos in the cockpit of an airplane, because that would not make any sense. Now, obviously that's an extreme example, but one thing we do see a lot of is someone like a dentist or a lawyer, and they want a change of scenery, so they go out to some nice, like a trail or a park or something to do a video there. And while that can be nice visually, it also is a little bit distracting. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense with the subject matter. So you do need to make a choice on what your subject matter is and try to find a location that helps synergize with that rather than take away. And that same concept of having your location add rather than subtract applies to other distracting things. Right now in the background, there's not a whole lot that's happening. You might be able to see that computer screen. I'm not sure because I can't. So you can't. Okay, great. You can't see that computer screen. There's nothing moving back here. It's out of focus. It's soft compared to me. There's nothing really pulling the viewer's eyes away from this mug, because this mug is the important thing. And when you're on camera, your mug is the important thing. So make sure there's nothing distracting in your background. That's essentially the main considerations when shooting at a location. We have done a video on depth, on how to get depth, on aperture and depth of field. You can watch that here if that's something that interests you. We've also done a video on getting location releases, location permits. You can watch that one here. It's got a little bit more information for you on that side of things. If you have any other questions, feel free to let us know in the comments or message our channel. We'll be happy to respond to them. Thanks so much, and we'll see you next week.